Hey everyone, my name is Mike. I just wanted to talk about some ways you can save some money. I know it's been kind of crazy these past few days, and I just really wanted to be able to put out just a pretty quick raw video. I don't want to edit too much, but I just want to be quick and to the point for you guys. Just really though the reasoning behind wanting to film something like this is just it's more apparent than ever that we need to save as much money as possible. Really, at least the majority of Americans do, because just prices of everything, they're skyrocketing, and it hasn't been helpful the past few years. Gas prices have been high the past few years. I mean, they're low now, or they were low up until about a week ago, and then with the strikes and everything going on, everything's kind of skyrocketed up. But our grocery prices are still going up. Inflation's still going up, and it's more apparent now than ever that if you're not saving, you need to be saving, because honestly, like, our salaries haven't been going up. Salaries or your hourly wage on average really hasn't been going up that much, and so it's not matching that inflation that is hitting, and it's continuing to hit us. um, so the first thing I want to say is, really, when you go to a grocery store, I typically, like, I'll shop at like three different stores throughout the week, right? Like, one store might have really good meat prices. One store might have really good prices on, say, everything else, and one might just be, say, fresher and, like, first choice. Um, but I want to say, when you go to a grocery store, especially if you're buying meat or any of those, it'd be meat and fish, and those animal proteins, you really want to go back there and see what's on sale. Like, great example is, the other day I went to the store. Ground beef was $1 off per pound if you bought 5 pounds of it, and I bought it. Um, and I split it up into like 1 pound increments, and I put it all in the freezer, because now I have multiple meals I can make out of that for me and my wife. And that's something that, if you're not doing, you really should start doing, is look for the deals, buy a little bit more, because in the long run it's going to save you, especially if you don't have, like, say, like a Costco card, excuse me, Costco, Sam's Club, um, or BJ's. If you don't have any of those cards or anything, um, it would behoove you to go out, look for those deals, and try to save money in that way. Also, Aldi is a great option. Lidl is also another good option. Um, but there are great options for just general discount, groceries, just in general, right? Not just the meat, but everything else, and it's pretty good quality stuff for what it is. And it really, honestly, like, noticing, like, you're going to spend probably, I would say, 50% to 75% at Aldi as you would going out. So if you're spending, say, $100 a week, you're going to spend $50 to $75 a week going to Aldi. In my opinion, that's been what I found. Um, the other thing, number two, is go out less. So I don't know if it's been the experience of other people, but we noticed that going out to eat, number one, is expensive. Everyone knows that, but it just hasn't been as good lately. And it turns out that that's because a lot of these restaurants and things that we go to here in the U.S., they all get their food from the same distributors, or I think it's the same. I want to say it's three main distributors. So all those ingredients are the same everywhere you go, right? For the most part, unless you go to a real mom and pop shop. Um, but and it really doesn't taste that good. So I guess in theory you could argue that you're getting the same food everywhere, right? When you're going out to eat. But I think it's really just, it's not good quality stuff, and it just doesn't, it's not worth spending anywhere between $50 to $60 on two people for a meal, for a dinner, when I could just go to the grocery store. It's going to be expensive still for, you're getting your groceries, but I might spend $60 on the week, maybe, usually a little bit more. Um, so it's really, if you're not doing that, you really need to start cutting out going out to eat. And I'm not saying you can't go out to eat ever, especially if you're in a relationship, you're married. You want to make sure that we do something where we go out once a month, right? We have a date night, and I suggest doing that kind of thing. So that can be your night to go out to eat. Just don't be doing it every week if you really are able to get away from it, because it's really just going to eat away at all your money, right? And that's not something that we want. And the third is walk more and drive less if it's possible. So, like, if you're living in a city or you're living in a nice town, where you can, like, walk places, do that, because walking more, especially right now when gas prices are going up and they're going to continue to go up, you're going to save a good amount of money on that gas expense. Also, furthermore, if you are, say, in a long-term relationship or married, try to only use one car when possible, so you're saving on that gas. Really, what we're focusing on, the third point, is you want to save money on gasoline, right? Or even honestly, like, if you don't need to have more than one vehicle, don't, right? Save that money on that insurance and everything, because I mean, personally, I think it's better to have two, especially if you're a couple. However, if you don't need it and one's just going to be sitting, get rid of it, you know. So, but we want to focus on those car expenses, because when you have a car, you have the car insurance you have to pay. If you have a car note, right, meaning like if you are either leasing it or you're financing it, um, I think the average is, I want to say it's around $500. I could be wrong, but I know it's pretty up there for the average American. And it's something that we really need to look at, is how do we cut down on our car expenses. And I think the best thing to cut down on is just the amount of gasoline that we're using. Obviously, if you commute to work, say you're commuting up to an hour away, that's something where, okay, just try not to go too far out of your way then with that vehicle. Or say if you have to do grocery shopping, do it on the way home, but try to do it on that route, right? Because like I said, we want to limit the amount of gasoline that we're using, because it's only going up in price. Um, Fourth is, you want to only really keep subscriptions, right? And I feel like this is something that a lot of people talk about. Is you want to only keep subscriptions you're really going to use, right? So you don't want to have, if you don't need to have it, you don't need to pay for Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Paramount, HBO Max. You don't need to have all these different things. Really focus on what, if you're going to have it, which I would suggest having a streaming service, especially over cable, just focus on what streaming service or services offer you stuff that you're actually going to enjoy watching and is worth your time. Also, you don't have to say subscribe to a streaming service, right, all year round if they're not playing whatever show it is that you like. Great examples, like I know people on Disney Plus, they would cancel it after the Mandalorian seasons would be over, right? Because they don't want to be paying that premium every month. So just, you want to focus in on what are the subscriptions that I need slash want, because the majority of them are not needs, right? Um, but I would personally say, if you can, cut it down to one or two, or even you can get bundles with, say, like I know a lot of cell phone companies or ISPs, internet service provider sets, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, etc. They usually offer their members bundles and stuff that are actually a little bit cheaper than just going out and getting whatever service it is or subscription service. Or like, great examples, Disney, Hulu Plus, ESPN, and HBO Max is usually a big bundle, right? So you can save money if you want all those things. But if you don't need it, then don't buy it, because you're going to save a good amount of money throughout the years, right? So that's what you want to focus on. That's small increments. But if you're not really paying attention to your spending, it's something that you're going to notice by cutting out those subscriptions that you're not using. You're going to be saving quite a bit of money a month. And it actually kind of rolls into the last point I want to make, and that's budgeting and kind of trying to calculate your return on your it's ROI, so it's return on investment. Now, you don't actually have to do it, like, you're not, most of you probably aren't in finance or anything, so it's not something you need to be very technical about. Just saying, what is the return on investment if I have Disney Plus? Like, say you have kids and they want to watch kids shows, or old Disney movies or stuff like that. The ROI on that, if it's going to be used a lot, compared to if you were just to, say, have Netflix, where you might not have as much, and this is just theoretical, but um, the ROI would be higher for the Disney Plus, right? So it's just, you want to look at the return on investment of, I'm putting money into it. What am I getting out of it? Is what I'm getting out of it greater than my perceived amount that I'm putting into it? It's just about generating more out of it than what you put into it, right? That's really what you're aiming for with ROI. And budgeting is just, know how much money you have coming in every month with your income, and know how much money you have going out. And obviously you want to try to keep it at a positive, because that's the only way. You need to be saving money, right? And that's something I can go into at a later point, later video. but you want to make sure that you're really budgeting so then you have money left over for emergencies, and for all these other things, which I know it's getting harder and harder, every month. It seems like there's something new going on where our prices have to go up. So but those are just quick 5 things. So once again, it's grocery shop deals. Okay. 2, go out to eat way less. It's not something that you need to be doing all the time. 3, make sure you're utilizing your vehicle less, or at least the amount that you have to, just so you're saving on that gas. 4 is only keeping those subscriptions that are absolutely necessary for you. And the 5th one, once again, is just budgeting and trying to calculate that ROI. All right. Right. So, and I would love to hear what you guys think down below. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. But other than that, have a great day.